Well, joining me via Skype from Abuja is political analyst Tokpe Faswa. Thank you for joining us on the Midday News.
Good afternoon.
Now, 13 out of 18 local government areas are said, according to the report, to be volatile areas. And with the symbolic event of the peace accord that was signed, how far an impact do you see this having on the elections come Saturday?
Well, we hope it has a salutary impact, and we hope that the politicians keep to the agreement they've signed. Already, the election is looking like a fait accompli because they've kind of narrowed down to two political parties, which sometimes the implication is that we'll keep on doing the same old things and expecting different results. These two parties are also the ones known to be able to sponsor violence, and some of them have done that in the past. But we hope that everybody is tired now, and the two political parties and their governorship candidates, I hope they are gentlemanly in their conduct and spare the people of Edo State the agony of any violence, well, such as we saw in Kogi State the last time. So we hope that everything goes well. Yeah.
Now, this is coming on the heels of a U.S. Visa ban on persons who they said perpetrated acts of violence in the Kogi and Ondo elections. I wonder also that with this U.S. visa ban, and we also see the U.K. towing the same line, what would you be expecting to see going forward?
Well, I'll say whatever can add to better elections in Nigeria, whatever can add to our democracy will be embraced. Ordinarily, those people, the people who run, say the so-called frontline for politicians in Nigeria, they are those people who really respect the United States and the UK, and they're always having to travel there for all sorts of things, including medicals and education for their children and all sorts. So this kind of thing really does affect them. And so I think, hopefully, if they believe that these countries will be serious about it, then they probably would try to act up. Like I said, whatever can assist us in doing the right thing and saving our democracy and improving our democracy should be embraced. So UK has joined as well. So if they say they can enforce visa ban, perhaps we could recommend that those countries also extend it to members of their family, because a lot of these people are growing old. Well, the experience of COVID actually also taught us that very clearly, even though we're not learning the lessons, that at the end of the day, we need to develop our country.
You think we are not learning the lessons?
No, we're not. We're not. It's
Why?
clear because if you look at some of the governors, and we're talking about governorship elections coming up now, you see that many of the governors have been spending the monies of the states very liberally. I believe that this is not the time for us to be purchasing luxury cars for people, for whether traditional rulers or commissioners or members of the House of Assemblies and so on, but including up to here in Abuja, members of House of Reps, Senate, they've all been maxing out on their own appurtenances of office. So I think that we haven't learned, because the lessons were clear. Develop your primary healthcare centers, fix your country, because when it comes to brass tacks, you have to sort yourself out.
Now, if I may interrupt your line of thought, some persons will say that this is where the citizens come in. How should they now begin to bring persons who they vote into power accountable? How should they make them accountable to deliver on their promises?
Well, I'm sorry, but the system has been rigged ab initio before you even start. This system has been rigged. Now, we're talking about two parties, and how did these two parties become what they are? So the people are almost forced to choose between PDP and APC, and no other party seems to be making any impact. And of course, remember that there are court cases about the deregistration of other parties. So if you're not allowing new ideas, how can you change the system? So if you can't change the system and you're forced to choose between two parties, how then can people actually
There are
insist
about for the
done?
Edo governorship election, there are other parties. About 14 parties are going in for the election. Nobody is forcing anybody to, narrow it down to just these two.
I've heard it said several times that there are two principal parties, and I think it was even read in your bulletin. And aside from that, also, you see that in the debate, we had a few people coming for one set of the debate, and the next set was only these two parties. So, okay, listen, I mean, there's not...
We have to leave the conversation here now. I'm afraid we have to let the conversation, leave the conversation here. Temitope Faswa, thank you so much for speaking with us.